Have you ever landed in a new country, feeling a little lost, a little nervous, and then the taxi driver turns to you and asks in perfect accent-neutral English?
So, first time in the Philippines? Welcome. Where can I take you?
That happens a lot. It's one of the first things that surprises visitors to the Philippines. You go to a corner store, a small neighborhood cafe, or even a remote beach resort, and chances are someone there can chat with you in English. It's not just broken phrases or a few memorized lines for tourists. We're talking about full conversations, jokes, and even arguments about which basketball team is the greatest of all time. It's a remarkable skill. How did this happen? Think about it. You call a customer service line for your phone, your bank, or your laptop.
And the friendly voice on the other end is often from Manila or Cebu.
This linguistic prowess is a huge part of the modern Filipino identity and economy. But why? Is there some secret school? Did everyone just decide to binge watch every season of Friends until they got it right? The answer is much deeper and more fascinating than that. It's a story that involves history, culture, education, and even a little bit of show business all mixed together. To truly understand why so many Filipinos speak English so well, we need to peel back the layers. It's not just one single reason, but a powerful combination of factors that have been working together for over a century. Let's rewind the clock to 1898. The Philippines had just spent over 300 years under Spanish rule. You'd think Spanish would be the second language, right? Well, not exactly. The Spanish mostly kept the language to themselves, for the elite and the clergy. But then, a new colonial power sailed into Manila Bay, the United States. And the Americans had a completely different strategy. They believed that the key to winning hearts and minds and to building a new society in their image was education. And the language of that education was going to be English. It was a massive, deliberate, and incredibly effective policy that set the stage for everything that followed. This wasn't a subtle suggestion. It was a full-on campaign. In 1901, a U.S. Army transport ship, the USS Thomas, arrived carrying about 500 American teachers. These educators, who came to be known as the Thomasites, fanned out across the archipelago, establishing a public school system from scratch. They built schools in remote villages and bustling towns. The medium of instruction for every subject, arithmetic, geography, history, was English. This was a radical shift. Suddenly, for a Filipino child, the path to knowledge, to understanding the world beyond their village, was paved with English words. The American textbook became as common as rice. The government, newly established under American administration, also began conducting its business in English. Laws were written in English, court proceedings were held in English, civil service exams required English proficiency. This cemented the language's status as the language of power, prestige, and upward mobility. It was the key that unlocked doors to government jobs, higher education, and a better future. Even after the Philippines gained its independence in 1946, the system was too deeply embedded to be removed. English remained one of the country's two official languages, alongside Filipino. The educational and governmental structures built by the Americans continued to function, and English remained their primary linguistic engine. This historical foundation is the bedrock upon which Filipino English proficiency is built. Walk into almost any school in the Philippines today, from a private international academy in Manila to a public elementary school in a rural province, and you will hear English. The educational system is the modern-day engine that continues the work started by the Thomasites. English isn't just taught as a foreign language for an hour a day. It is formally introduced at a very young age, sometimes even in kindergarten. Children learn their ABCs, abacada, the Filipino alphabet. This early and continuous exposure makes the language familiar from the very beginning, rather than a strange subject introduced later. The real game changer is the policy of using English as the medium of instruction for key subjects. Think about your own schooling. Now imagine learning mathematics, biology, chemistry, physics entirely in a second language. That's the reality for Filipino students. Their textbooks are in English, classroom lectures are often in English, exams are in English. This immersive approach forces students not to just learn vocabulary, but to think in English to solve complex problems and understand abstract concepts. It's deep, practical learning beyond memorization. This educational philosophy creates a continuous pipeline of English speakers. By high school and by university, students have spent more than a decade reading in English, writing in English, and speaking in English. University-level education is almost exclusively in English, especially in medicine, law, engineering, business. Academic papers, research, dissertations are all written in English. Graduates are conversational and capable of professional communication and technical communication, skills prized in the global job market. Of course, the system isn't perfect. Quality varies between under-resourced public schools and expensive private ones. Many teachers practice code switching, Taglish, to help students. That mixing makes English less intimidating and more accessible. It becomes a living, breathing part of daily classroom conversation, not just a formal language confined to a textbook. This constant, daily immersion from childhood through higher education is the central pillar of English proficiency in the country. Language is more than just words. It's a living part of culture. You know, in the Philippines, English has been embraced and integrated in a way that is truly unique. It's not seen as a rigid, formal language that must be spoken perfectly or not at all. Instead, it's flexible, playful, woven directly into the fabric of daily conversation. This is most obvious in the phenomenon of Taglish. Taglish, a mix of Tagalog and English, Bizlish, Bisaya and English. You'll hear it everywhere. Let's go na, someone will say. Friends at a cafe mixing English and Filipino in speech bubbles.
Can you pass the report to me?
This code switching isn't a sign of poor language skills. It's a sophisticated linguistic tool. It allows speakers to express nuanced ideas, to signal social status, to simply communicate more efficiently. It makes English feel less foreign and more like a local dialect. This casual mixing lowers the barrier to entry. If schools built the foundation, then media and entertainment built the rest of the house, furnished it, and threw a massive party inside. The Filipino love affair with American pop culture is a powerful, unofficial language teacher that works 24/7. Long before the internet, Hollywood movies were a staple in Philippine cinemas. Filipinos grew up watching American blockbusters, not with subtitles, but in their original English. This created a generation of people who learned the rhythm, slang, and intonation of native speakers from icons like John Wayne, Audrey Hepburn, Tom Cruise, and Julia Roberts. The cinema was a classroom for conversational English. Then came television, which brought American culture directly into the Filipino living room. Bewitched Grey's Anatomy, America's Got Talent. English language programming has always dominated primetime slots. HBO, Disney Channel, CNN. Local cable providers offer a huge variety of American channels as standard. This constant passive exposure is incredibly effective. Children pick up accents and expressions, teenagers learn the latest slang, adults stay connected to global news and trends, all through their television screens. It's language learning by osmosis, and it's happening all the time. Music is another huge factor. Filipinos are passionate about music, and American and British pop songs have topped the charts here for decades. Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, English language songs are the soundtrack to daily life. Malls, radio, jeepneys, karaoke bars. Singing along to your favorite English hit is a national pastime. This is an incredibly fun and effective way to practice pronunciation, learn new vocabulary, and master the flow of the language. When you're trying to hit the high notes in a Whitney Houston ballad, you're also perfecting your English vowels. In the 21st century, the internet and social media have amplified this effect tenfold. YouTube, TikTok, Netflix, X, formerly Twitter. Young Filipinos follow international influencers, participate in global online communities, and stream endless hours of content in English. They are not just passive consumers. They are active creators, making their own vlogs, podcasts, and social media posts in English to reach a wider international audience. This constant interactive immersion in global pop culture makes English feel less like a foreign language and more like a global one that everyone, including them, is a part of. If history laid the tracks and school built the train, then the economy is the fuel that keeps it running at high speed, you know. In the modern Philippines, English proficiency is not just a skill, it's a highly valuable economic asset. It is a golden ticket to some of the best and highest paying jobs in the country. This powerful economic incentive is perhaps the single biggest motivator for Filipinos to master the language. The most visible example of this is the booming business process outsourcing industry. Call centers, IT support back office services for global corporations. The BPO industry is a titan of the Philippine economy, employing over 1 million people and generating billions of dollars in revenue. Why are so many international companies setting up shop here? From the US, from the UK, from Australia. The primary reason is the large workforce, highly skilled, readily available workforce of fluent English speakers. The neutral, easily understandable accent of many Filipino speakers is a huge bonus. For hundreds of thousands of Filipinos, speaking clear, articulate English is a direct path to a stable job, good salary, health benefits, career advancement opportunities. This has turned language proficiency into a tangible, life-changing tool. The demand for English doesn't stop with BPO. The Philippines is also a major hub for international tourism and hospitality. From 5-star hotels in Manila to dive resorts in Palawan, the ability to communicate effectively with foreign tourists is essential. Great English skills translate directly into better service, better tips, better job opportunities in this massive service industry. Furthermore, many multinational corporations have their regional headquarters in the Philippines, and English is the official language of business. To climb the corporate ladder in sectors like banking, pharmaceuticals, technology, marketing, fluency in English is non-negotiable. Another massive economic driver is the phenomenon of overseas Filipino workers. Millions of Filipinos work abroad in a vast range of professions. Nurses, engineers in the Middle East and North America to seafarers on ships all over the world. English is often the common language that allows them to work in these international environments and communicate with colleagues from different countries. The remittances they send back home are a cornerstone of the Philippine economy. Families see firsthand how English proficiency enabled their loved ones to secure these lucrative jobs, creating a powerful, multi-generational motivation to ensure their children also learn the language well. The Filipino people are, by nature and by necessity, global citizens. Travel is deeply ingrained in the national consciousness, not just as a luxury, but as a way of life and a means of survival for many. Millions of Filipinos live and work overseas, creating a vast diaspora. Dubai, Los Angeles, London, Singapore. This constant movement creates a dynamic, two-way exchange of language and culture. When Filipinos go abroad, English is their universal key. Navigate airports, secure jobs, build new communities. Their success stories reinforce the value of English back home. Phone calls, social media. When these overseas Filipino workers return for vacations or to retire, they bring more than just gifts and savings. They bring back new expressions, a more global perspective, and a first-hand understanding of how English is spoken in different parts of the world. They become informal language tutors for their families and communities. A child hearing their aunt talk about her life as a nurse in Canada, or their uncle describe his job on a cruise ship, internalizes the practical importance of the language. This isn't a theoretical lesson from a textbook. It's a real-life demonstration of how English opens up the world. This culture of migration fosters an outward-looking mindset. From a young age, many Filipinos are aware of the world beyond their shores. They have relatives in other countries and grow up hearing stories about different cultures. This global awareness makes learning English feel relevant and exciting. It's not just an academic requirement. It's a practical tool for connecting with family members and for future travels or careers abroad. The dream of traveling, whether for work or leisure, motivates attention in English class and practice. The Philippines is a major tourist destination, welcoming millions of visitors each year. This provides countless opportunities for everyday Filipinos to interact with native and non-native English speakers. These interactions are real-world, immersive language practice. This constant interplay has made English a living, breathing part of the Filipino experience. Beyond the historical context and the economic incentives, there is a crucial cultural ingredient that explains why Filipinos speak English so well: their attitude. In many cultures, people are hesitant to speak a second language until they feel they can do so perfectly. They are afraid of making mistakes, of being judged for their accent, or of sounding unintelligent. But in the Philippines, there is a general fearlessness and a willingness to try. This confidence, often described by the Filipino term lakas ng loob, is a game changer for language acquisition. Filipinos are, by and large, not afraid to speak. This confidence is nurtured by a supportive and non-judgmental environment. Making a grammatical error or searching for a word is seen as a normal part of communication, not a failure. People are more focused on the message being conveyed than on the flawless delivery. This forgiving atmosphere encourages learners to practice speaking openly without the fear of being ridiculed. Practice makes perfect, and Filipinos get a lot of practice. There is also a deep-seated desire to be understood and to connect with others. Filipino culture is famously hospitable, warm, and communal. When faced with a foreigner, the natural impulse for many Filipinos is to reach out to be helpful, to make the visitor feel welcome. English is the most effective tool for this. The desire to connect with someone from another culture often outweighs any shyness about their language skills. This drive for interpersonal connection provides constant real-world motivation, turning every interaction with a foreigner into a valuable learning opportunity. This mindset is a powerful combination of pragmatism and personality. Filipinos see English as a practical tool, for jobs, for travel, for education. But they also use it with a characteristic warmth and friendliness. They have embraced the language and made it their own, infusing it with their own cultural flair. They are not just speaking English. They are communicating, connecting, expressing their identity through it. This positive and pragmatic attitude, the confidence to try, the grace to make mistakes, and the desire to connect is the intangible but essential element that brings all the other factors to life and results in a nation of remarkably proficient English speakers. So, the real reason so many Filipinos speak English so well isn't a single, simple secret. It's a rich and complex tapestry woven from many different threads. It began over a century ago, with a deliberate historical policy that planted the seeds of English in a nationwide public school system. Those seeds were watered in the classroom, math, science, making the language an integral part of their intellectual development. The American textbook and the Thomasite teacher laid a foundation so deep that it has endured for over 100 years. This educational foundation was then supercharged by culture. Hollywood movies, American pop music, global media, creating a fun, immersive learning environment in every home. The playful, flexible use of Taglish in daily life made the language less intimidating and more accessible. This cultural embrace was then powerfully reinforced by economic reality. The promise of a good job in the booming BPO industry, a career in international tourism, or the opportunity to work abroad turned English proficiency from a mere academic skill into a golden ticket to a better life for individuals and their families. Ultimately, it all comes together in the Filipino people themselves. It's in their confidence to speak without fear of judgment, their natural warmth that drives them to connect with others, and their pragmatic understanding of the language as a tool for opportunity. They have taken a language that arrived as part of a colonial project and transformed it into a bridge to the rest of the world, a driver of their modern economy, and a key part of their global identity. They have made it their own, using it with skill, with heart, and with a uniquely Filipino flair that is recognized and appreciated across the globe. The story of English in the Philippines is a testament to the nation's resilience, adaptability, and forward-thinking spirit. It's a story of how history, education, culture, and economics can converge to create an extraordinary national talent. So the next time you meet a Filipino who impresses you with their fluent English, you'll know the deep and fascinating story behind it. It's not just a language they learned. It's a legacy they inherited, a skill they honed, and a tool they are using to build a brighter future for themselves and for their country, connecting their 7,000 islands to the entire world.